In this episode, we get the toilet tank hung in the wall and the heater box made. Okay, I'm just sitting here thinking how I'm going to get this screwed in. Can't really come through here. I can kind of go through here, but then I need a really long screw to make it to here. I can tag it in, kind of like I did some of those, though really I could have done a better job with those. And I'm going to do a better job with this because of a tool I forgot I had. This here allows you to drill in these countersunk holes. Okay, now I'll just clamp it down and drill the hole. There's one. See that? Now if I was doing something for, like, say, furniture work, I'd want to make sure these are absolutely precise, but for this application, I think we'll be good. Just a good old eyeballing of it, and there. I got this support in for the toilet tank. I did add another pocket hole in the middle on this side, and on this side I actually just came in through there, because what I'm going to have is a section out here that's routed out for the bracket that's going to be supporting this one side of the tank. I still got to put this cross brace in, and I'll be putting 3 screws in here on this side, and on this I'll just come straight through this stud and attach to it. But what did I end up going with? If you can see in there in those pocket holes is this kind of a pan head flat based long screw, which obviously bites quite well through both studs, securing this in and giving it more than enough strength to support the tank. Yeah, those are kind of expensive, but since I was only using a few of them, it was alright. I was thinking of just using the regular tapered screw, but I didn't want to use this tapered screw in the pocket holes because they are flat based. I didn't want to start spreading that open and potentially causing a split through here. So I'm glad the hardware store here did have those in bulk that I could buy them. Brace these up. This is almost perfectly level, a little off. Still need to do some adjustments. However, I need to recess these into these wood supports because the drywall has to come flush over this. I will have a hole in the drywall for these braces that are coming out and through, but for the rest of this needs to be recessed, so I need to router out an 1/8 inch into these wood supports, which I will do some final adjustment to get this even more level. However, as you'll see with the tank, because it's cast, porcelain cast, it's not the most perfectly level anyways, and so that'll be shimmed, and you have rubber washers that'll be needed when it gets bolted down because everything needs to be sealed and watertight, so there's room for movement and to get it perfectly 100% level. The toilet tank, the lid, I'll actually paint the underside of it. So here's the underside. Around this lip you'll see that edge showing, and so I'll have to paint that to blend it in with the rest of the tank. So you can see how that's going. It's not that difficult to transform a standard toilet into a high tank toilet. Just a little bit of a sneak peek here. I'm trying to figure out everything. Kind of see, got a bubble. So it's pretty level. Maybe a little off, but with shims and adjustment, it'll be dead on. Now I just have the one lag bolt on each. I'm going to drill some holes and countersink some screws in the rest of this. Will it support the weight of the tank full of water? Ooh, well, I don't know. We're gonna cross our fingers and hope it does. Got these rubber shims I'm making. That'll give it some cushion for that porcelain to sit on and help space it up. Because that goes through the tank, that gets tightened to seal it, and that brass nut is what tightens up and compresses this rubber seal. I'm going to add some silicone or automotive gasket maker in there as well to help seal it, because I don't trust this little rubber washer to seal properly on the tank. But anyways, that gets compressed, sealing the tank. Then that goes through like so, and then that tightens up onto that brace, and you can see that nut and those rubber spacers I cut out are about the same thickness. I am going to have to add some shim material. I don't know what I'm going to use yet. I have some thinner rubber neoprene. I've got sheets like this that are, oh, I don't know what that is, 1/16 of an inch, or not quite a 1/8 inch anyways. So I'll probably use that to help shim it up, to give it a little bit more space, because as that tank's sitting on there, it's going to slightly compress, especially when I tighten it, and I don't want that nut bottoming out on the steel, and that's going to transfer right into the porcelain. I mean, there is still a washer on there, but yeah, I just like to relieve any stress points on that tank that I can. So I'm going to have these rubber shim dampeners. Plus I can adjust with adding some more shim material, how level it is. It's pretty level as you've seen, but anyways, that should work. Now for what I used for this, well, got a roll of rubber matting. Picked it up at a actually auction sales where I got it. Don't know what it was ever used for, but it came in a bunch of stuff that I bought, so it works great for this. Now if you're going to be doing it yourself at home, I don't know what to suggest and where to find that material. You're going to have to do some digging around yourself to find that. You know, maybe online you can find something. I don't know how expensive it is. Basically didn't pay anything for this stuff, so works good for me. Okay, I have it sitting on there. Right, bubble's not 100% perfect, but still got to put the washers, whatever else underneath, so it's going to be just fine. Now I just need to mark for the holes so I can drill those out. You can see the outlet coming out. See a little valve in there. So you look at that, and that's just how it comes from a factory. You have a rubber washer seal that gets compressed in between the tank and the body of the toilet. But with the high tank toilet you don't have that, and you have just your steel line coming down. So how do we adapt and seal that up so it doesn't leak? Got here is a 2-inch ABS to 1.5 cast. Get it apart here. We've got cap with the tapered compression washer. Now, you're fitting here, you can see that taper. And this tank does not have a taper, so we've got to put a taper into the tank. As you can see, but it threads on there perfectly, and my stainless steel pipe I'll be using fits that perfectly. So that's what you can use to seal up if you use a stainless steel pipe, which I'll show you later on. That'll work. Now for getting this bevel in here, you could buy a big reamer. I've seen one on Amazon for sale. What I'm going to use instead, because I don't want to spend the money on a big reamer that I'll use once, I'm going to use my router with the correct bit in it, and I'm going to router out a taper inside of there. And I'll show you guys when I get around to doing that. But so you can see, got these rubber washers made. It's about the right height. I am going to shim it up some more, just a little bit, because once that's compressed, I still want there to be some space, a small gap between that nut and the bracing, because I don't want any pressure put on that tank. It looks pretty good. fairly level, more or less. A very slight pitch forward. Can't tell really by looking at the tank, but there is just a very slight pitch. So I might shim it to level that out or to bring it back some. See this interesting contraption? So that's curved, so it angles down and pushes, right? As the air comes in, it'll flow, arc around, and then come back down, directing it towards the floor. I still got to put another, probably in the middle, another piece that's angled to help direct the air flow down towards the ground, but just got it sat in there. Just getting some downward flow from it. When I get the centerpiece in there, that should really help direct the heat down towards the tile, which is what I want. I don't want air just blowing out, I want it to blow down. But we'll see. It's kind of an ugly looking thing. I will fill in any gaps and anything with some caulking. This is actually part of a cover off of a Briggs & Stratton engine off a lawnmower. It was approximately the right size and shape already, so saved me a little bit of time making one. And just use this. Made the bottom, made the deflector on top. There we go. So I got those deflectors made. They are just riveted in. So as these are riveted in, it allows me to adjust them. I can adjust them further up, further down. That way I can direct the air coming out down to the floor. It looks pretty good, I think, anyways. We'll see how well it works. I'll get it stat on there and fire up the heater and see what it feels like. After that, I need to go around and you see I need to fill in all these little areas with some caulking. I want to fill in all the gaps. I don't think I'm going to be losing that much, or really of any air pressure flow or anything through that, any CFM, but I just want to make sure it's all sealed up so we get no heat getting blown into this wall here and it just comes out of this only. Go. Pulling it downward. That'll be approximately the floor height. Then you have your base trim, and then your vent. I think that's gonna work good. I can feel the air blowing down to the ground. We've got nothing coming up top. It's just projecting it down. Now I can adjust these to have it blow wherever I want. Anyways, gives the idea approximately where it's going to be.